welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Vlogmas. If you're new here, my name is Elle. I'm an interiors DIY blogger and YouTuber. I'm doing Vlogmas this year and today we have a crafty video, one that I'm so excited to do. We are DIYing our own faux wreath. I love a Christmas wreath. I love that kind of traditional decor and whatnot. It's one of my favourite things and I love a real wreath, but they're just so high maintenance, and I always think that depending on where you are in the country depends on how well they last for, and I don't always think a real wreath lasts that well. Up here in the north we have had particularly downpoury weather recently and I can just see it getting battered. So what I like to do is create an almost realistic faux wreath, one that I can pull out time and time again and yeah, just love every single year. By the way guys, I'm just loving the setup that I've got at the moment. It feels very like Art Attack or Martha Stewart channel, like if she had one. I am going to crack on with this DIY project. It's so simple and it shouldn't take that long at all. I've done it once or twice in my youth and yeah, it's always so much fun to do. There's different ways you can do it. Obviously a lot of people use the twine one or the moss in order to give it some bulk. I find that just going straight onto a wreath wheel or circle, or however you call it, is just as simple, and you can really customize your wreath to your specific, you know, theme or Christmas style. Obviously, as you can see, we've gone very traditional in my house this year, so I'm going for a very kind of classic heritage wreath that I think is just going to look amazing on my newly painted front door. So the things you're going to need for this DIY project are as follows. You are going to need, first off, your wreath circle or your wreath wheel, whatever you call it. I will have everything linked down below. This one was from Amazon and I do believe this is the 50cm one. It came as a pack of 2. I particularly love a big chunky wreath, but it depends on your style, it depends on where you want to put this wreath. Obviously everything that we have is going to be safe for outdoors because it's faux, so it just entirely depends on where you want to put it, whether it be a small one indoors or a large one on your front door. With this I have a packet of floral wire. This is usually used for real florals, but this can work just as well with faux. Down here I have my bases to the sort of foliage that I'm using in terms of the wreath. So I've got these little sprouty things, which is a bit more kind of a pine-esque look. I also have in my bag here some eucalyptus, and I also have some faux kind of behind me spruce twigs. These are all going to really add to the look and really create a mixture. Mixing in the different kind of textures and different branches is really going to make it look more realistic than if you just stuck to one. How much you are going to need is going to be entirely dependent on how big your reel is. I think this will be more than enough for the size that we've got. Obviously if you're going to go bigger you may want to double it up. If you're going to go smaller you may want to just get a smaller packet size. And then the other stuff you're going to need is just to bulk it out. By all means, if you wanted to just have it as a bland, you know, garland reel, you absolutely could do. However, I'm going to go and add a bit of decor just so that when guests come through the front door they know exactly what Christmas they're walking into. So I have some dried up oranges, which by all means you can make yourself if you've got the time and the patience. I haven't, so I picked these up from my local craft store. I also have some cinnamon sticks right here that I'm going to add onto the wreath, and I got myself some gold berries just to really pull in with the look. Finally, I am finishing mine off with ribbon. Now you can use this to hang the garland from your door. I have a hook and it just will be able to fit over the back of it. I'm just going to use this purely for both situations down here. That is literally all you need. By all means you can add and subtract depending on what style of wreath you're going to go for. So let's have a sip of my coffee and let's crack on with this DIY. Okay, moving everything around. The first thing you're going to do is just start with the garland side of your wreath, and what you're going to basically do is create bundles. So you don't want every bundle to be exactly the same. You want it to be a little bit different. That is what's going to make it look rustic and more realistic to nature, but you just want to create small little bundles that you're going to attach and then you're going to build up from there. So I'm going to start with one of these. So this is the faux spruce. Ooh, there's 2 there. So I'm actually going to use 2 to start with. I'm also going to put a bit of eucalyptus in front. I think I'm going to do in front. And I'm just going to add a little spruce like this. So you're not doing too much to it, you're just doing it slowly but surely, and you're going to build it up from there. How you're going to attach the bundle is you're going to take your wire, find the entry point, which I believe is that there, and you're going to just wrap it around and do a knot with the first one. You're not going to cut it, you're just going to continue wrapping as and when you build up your wreath. So let's start with this. So just wrapping it around here, and it is going to move with the branches. It's just going to add to the charm. So you can see this is already somewhat moving. It is such a shame I would get copyright, otherwise I'd be playing Christmas music right now. And what I'm just going to do is wrap it under and around. I'm just going to try and aim this a bit more. And with this wreath, you can see that I can really just wrap it around the branches and whatnot. I'm just going to do a 2. I've got plenty of wire to play with, so I can really just stretch this out. And I'm just going to attempt to go through there. And that is your first bundle done, and you're simply going to copy and paste from here. So let's do a time lapse and build this up as we go. I'm just having to move everything down just so we've got plenty of room to like craft out. Make sure as well with branches like this, you're just spreading them out a little bit. Obviously it's going to move over time and you may want to just flop it up when you finish, but it's easy enough just to keep doing it as you go. And I think you can see somewhat as well, I'm actually catching the previous branches there. And what I did just there, I'm just going to try and show you as much as possible, is I poked one of them downwards, because obviously you want to go upwards, but you also want to make sure you fill this space up. Obviously you can go in at the end and just plug in any gaps with your wire and extra branches. Again, just do it as you go along. Really, there's no rules to it, just play it. Just go for it. It's also worth remembering with gaps, you have got your extra decor, so you can fill those up with, you know, like an orange there or anything like that. It doesn't have to be complete. Same with the branches, like there's a little bit of a gap forming here. I can plug that in with some berries and whatnot, so don't be too, I've got to be tight knit with it. I know I'm only like not even a quarter there. I'm obsessed already. Okay, I would say we are about halfway there, and it is stunning, if I say so myself. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a bit worried because I'm seeing like the last few bits of the spruce, but I've got plenty of the pine to fill it out with, and I'm just spreading it out a little bit more, knowing that I'm coming in with my decor pieces, so it's not going to be completely plugged. And you saw as well that like I may have just seen inserting things here then where I see a gap, and that's where I want to create the shape. So I'm coming through the hole here, and that you can do with the wire and then just kind of go over it. With it being green wire as well, if it's a little bit on the top, it's not that noticeable at all. It's more when you know, you get up close, but no one's really going to get that close to you. So I am running out of battery now. Oh, one fell out. No, get you back in there. And that type of thing, I can just go over it later if there's any loose bits. So I will be just checking this out later. As I was saying before, one of them fell out. As I was saying before, one of them fell out. I'm running out of battery. So what I'm going to do is just turn you guys off, complete the rest of the circle, and come back with something that is completely full. So let's do a transition in 3, 2, 1. So this is my wreath. It feels so large at the moment and it looks incredible. I love the movement and stuff. I will admit, with this kind of spruce branches, the more kind of piney, these little ones here, I could have done with 1 or 2 because it's looking a little bit bold at the bottom here. However, that gives me a natural place to put the ribbon, which is great. You simply finish it off, by the way, by cutting the wire, just wrapping it around a couple of times. Like, that is solid. Word to the wise as well, put something down on your table so you don't end up with scratches on your coffee table if that's where you're doing it, or your dining table. You live and you learn. The next step is to add in your garland, and I'm going to start with my bow just so I've got the natural place of where I want my bow to be, and then I can go around it with the cinnamon and the berries and the oranges. I actually don't know how to do a Christmas bow, ironically, so I'm going to have a quick Google, quick look on Pinterest, get a tutorial, and then teach you guys how to do it. Okay, I've managed to make a bow. So simply what you need to do is take your fabric. This is actually the ribbon that I have around the tree, so it's going to bring in that cohesiveness into the space. So from the front door, you know exactly what Christmas you're getting. You simply take your strip and you kind of do like a loop. So find your middle. And then what you want to do is like split it out into 2 and then like cross over the 2 and then pinch in the middle. Just make sure that the loops are even. The thing is, this works much better when you have a wired ribbon. I don't, but essentially that is what you're getting. So this is one I made earlier and I just fastened it together with some fabric wire. I am going to double it up like this. So I'm just going to secure this bow. I'm going to make it actually a little bit smaller than that bow so there's a bit of definition to it, but not too small. Here we go. Bow and all the bunny ears the same length. A little bit. So just get the fabric wire and wrap. Don't worry too much about the tails hanging. We will sort them out in a bit. So wrap, wrap, wrap. And again, if you've got wired ribbon, it's going to be a bit more defined than this. It's really going to stand out. That way. No, that way. That's the way it wants to go. And then I'm doing 2, so it looks like this. So it's just a little bit more funky and whatnot. And what I'm going to do is just take a bit of this ribbon. I'm going to cut it off and then just cover up the middle so that we've got that nice thick knot in the middle. So I'm just going to take a piece like this, fold it, just tuck it in a little bit. This is very fiddly, but I know what look I'm going for. Okay, so the smaller ones at the front, grab there, grab there. Ah, see, there you go. That's what you're wanting. It's a nice thick bow. Looking gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And again, grab that floral wire, real MPV of this DIY, and just secure that knot at the top, at the back, sorry. So I'm just going to wrap it like this. This also gives me a little bit of a point to attach the bow to the wreath. Now you've got a nice bit. For your tails, I'm just gonna sit up for this. But you want to cut on the angle, and you really want to use fabric shears. This was actually cut by kitchen scissors before I went and grabbed these, and you can see that they don't frit. They really doesn't look that nice. What I'm going to do is just angle it, and look how sharp they are. They just go down in one go. And you just want to play with the different directions to make sure it looks nice and different. And then using that point, I'm going to find where I want it to go on the wreath. So think about here, I think. That looks quite good. And I'm going to just attach it with more fabric wire. I'm just going to break a bit off so it's a bit easier to get in there. Okay, so I just cut a bit off. It's easier just to get in there than keeping it attached. To do the good old classic through the middle, so I should get out the other side. By all means, you can use super glue or a glue gun in order to just really strap it down and make sure everything's in place, and you can do that with pretty much all the branches. Ooh, my bows are getting a bit flickety. There we go, come on, fall back in line. Let's hold it about there. Because I've got the double bow, what I'm doing is just wrapping it around the back bow, but then the front little bow is going to fall in place and cover the wire. I'm just doing this to make sure it is, like, it's not going to budge, basically, the way I'm doing it. Okay, here is one I made earlier. How cute is that? It's obviously going to be a lot easier to spruce and fluff up once it's hanging. It's difficult when it's laying flat. Now that I've got my bow on there, I have now a middle point in which I can work around everything else with. So as I said, I've got berries, I've got oranges, one of them's trying to escape off the table, and I've got cinnamon sticks that I'll have to wrap up individually. I'm going to start with the berries, be a nice little filler, and then I'm going to build up from there, and it literally is just working it around, checking it out, changing it, alternating it. Oh, I've just put a berry in and it looks gorgeous. Keep using the wire. Obviously with things like the oranges, you may have to poke it through and do sort of like a tuck little bit just to attach the orange through, or you could use a bit of glue on the back and create yourself a little pincer and then wrap it on that way. I'm just going to carry on using this wrapping and going that way until it's all complete. Look how gorgeous she is. Honestly, this was so much fun to do. Like, I do wish we could have played some Christmas music while doing this, but obviously would have got knocked by YouTube for copyright. But this is something you can do whilst putting on some festive tunes. Grab some girlfriends, grab some wine or a festive cocktail and just go for it in an evening just doing this. Oh my god, it's just, I'm so happy with it. She weighs a ton as well. She is heavy. But yeah, this is just exactly what I was imagining it to look like and more. Oh my god, she's so gorgeous. I am gonna go and hang this up outside my door. It is just getting a little bit dark now for photos, so what I'm gonna do is leave you on some cutaways of me hanging this up and some festive shots outside my front door. But I do hope you enjoyed this Christmas craft. Honestly, I've enjoyed it so much doing it. If you liked it, do let me know in the comments down below what kind of theme you're going to go for. Are you going to go alpine? Are you going to flock it? Are you going to go crazy with colour? Like, what are you going to do with your wreath? If you're not subscribed already, please do so. I have some more Vlogmas videos coming up, some actual vlogs, some more crafts, some DIYs and whatnot. There's a whole festive playlist that you will not want to miss out on, so do go and check that all out on my channel. Thank you so much guys again for all your support and joining me with this little craft video. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!